All right, moving on to more advanced leg positioning and leg protection. The crisscross that we've just described, the triangle, is all well and good. That's great stuff. That's going to be important. It's going to be almost like gluing your hands to your forehead or playing in a shell-style defense for striking. It's important, and it carries a lot of value, and no matter who you are, there are going to be times that you're going to want to do that. However, as you become more experienced in the position and as you'd like to be able to kind of venture outward and make your movement and positioning more dynamic and more offensive and more malleable, you're going to have to open that lock. One of the big reasons that we see people getting stuck in 50-50 in the world's worst matches is, can I borrow for a moment, please, Adam? Is that both of us rightly recognize the danger of the other guy doing something to his legs, and we go, oh man, I don't want that to happen, and we glue our feet together, and he's gluing his feet together, and we're both sitting here trying to dig our elbows into the other guy's thigh, and this is frankly a really poor way of getting a heel hook. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but when both of us know what we're doing, it's pretty ham-handed. And on top of that, there's no dynamism in the position. It is obvious what I'm up to. I'm just hoping that at a certain point his defense sucks, and that's not a great way to do this. So what I need to do is I have to be able to open my feet and move, but at the same time, if every single time I open my feet, Adam puts me away, and I'm like, and I get finished, that's no fun. So what I want to start to understand is that the heel hook functions here. The heel hook doesn't function here. The heel hook doesn't function here. The heel hook doesn't function here. Simply, it's like, how do I stop you from hitting me in the face? Punching me in the face hard. I don't let your fist hit my face. And I know that sounds obnoxious and stupid, but at the same time, it is actually correct. So all I want to do is understand that if I point my toes to the outside, away from him, the opposite of inside, I point my toes to the outside, I put my far hand, my outside hand on the mat as if I'm going to execute a technical stand-up, not even as if, because I'm going to, and I dig my foot into the floor, I'm able to protect myself. Now, can you lift my leg up easily?
Not easily.
Not easily. And it's not, can they lift your leg up at all? Because they will be, anyone willing to go completely crazy or full effort in expanding their body can absolutely move you. If you're even remotely close to the same size, or if they are bigger than you, people can move you, period. And that's an important thing to understand. Let's say, for instance, you're side controlling them out, and you get it in your head that you should be able to start this person out and they should never move. That's not a real thing. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Most of the time that the other person can't move, it's that they're doing weird jiu-jitsu guy stuff and they're refusing to move in certain ways. And one of the reasons you go, man, wrestlers are hard to hold down, you always hear that type of stuff, is just because they decide to put their hands on the floor and move. Whereas jiu-jitsu guys tend to do this. So they will actually staple themselves. I'm going to dig my foot into the floor like a stake, my other hand into the floor like a stake, and come up on my knee. Now this foot, I'm pushing off of each point of my body, my hand into my foot into my knee, and my other foot, I could be standing here, I could put my knee down, but you'll notice that I'm creating a triangle with my base. What this is doing is making it difficult. Can you hit any of the cut unders or movements? You should feel like it
feels like there's a barrier.
Correct. Now, if you'll notice, my progression of my joints is foot, knee, hip. If it goes knee, foot, hip, I don't really have a whole great deal of structural integrity. So right now, my knee doesn't have a lot of structural integrity. There's a lot of, it looks like a joint that's bent, as opposed to expanding away and digging it into the ground. So by putting my foot solidly on the ground, I can't be heel hooked. You could be the absolute, Hickson Gracie, uber ninja master of heel hooks. Please heel hook me without taking my foot off the floor.
I can't do it.
It's impossible. Okay, please heel hook me. Oh man, he moved my foot off the ground and he did something. It's important to understand, again, this is where you'll get a lot of value out of going in slow motion, or nowadays it's very easy because there's so much access to easy video replay. Or you play jiu-jitsu chess and you honestly move once. Okay, you're moved, so I'm like, got my foot down. Okay, heel hook me, please. Okay, he moves my foot. And then he goes and he does stuff, and that I'd have to attempt to defend, or I'm going to find myself in trouble. If he's unable to get my foot off of the ground, he's not going to be able to heel hook me. Now, is it easy to lift heavy things? No, that's why you call them heavy. Now, maybe what I think is heavy and what you think is heavy aren't the same thing, and that's an important thing to understand when you scale up against size of opposition, like physical size. Like I punch pretty hard for someone my size, believe it or not. But compared to a 190-pound man that punches hard, I don't punch hard. So it all depends on who you're asking. So if we come back, I dig my foot into the ground. Can you lift it easily?
No.
No. Can you heel hook it easily?
No.
That's impossible. Now, again, if I start opening, if you notice Adam can twist his knee to the inside and he can destroy my structural integrity. Did he heel hook me without my foot on the floor? Or with my foot on the floor, though?
No.
Even here, heel hook me now. This is terrible position, but he can't heel hook me until he twists, and I find myself in trouble. So again, simply by digging this foot into the floor and using this as a base of operations, which we're going to get into further, you're going to be able to protect yourself. It's important that you go foot on the floor, move it please. Ruh-roh doesn't do anything for me. Foot on the floor, get your weight above it so that you're staked down into it. You're going to be as stable as you need to be able to protect yourself. If and when I get dropped back down, I go, oh man, this sucks. I can recover my feet and re-protect myself. But again, a heavy foot flat on the floor is not heel hookable.